Ladies, what is one thing you find most attractive in a man? My husband makes me laugh, and he doesn't sweat the small stuff. He makes me feel safe. Forehead kisses are the best thing. Him doing them repeatedly because he knows I love them. It's the best. Also, he lets me buy stupidly priced aged and smoked cheeses. Yo, I keep seeing posts with this joke about how you can fascinate a woman by giving her a piece of cheese, but I'm starting to think it's not a joke. I hate myself sometimes for this, but their smell, haha. I love when they smell warm and manly. Other than that, passion. It could be passion for their work, for their family, for something they have as a hobby. Communication and honesty. My boyfriend and I rarely fight because we're both entirely upfront about our thoughts, opinions, and feelings. If we disagree on something, we discuss it like adults. No yelling, no personal attacks, just talking. We have unwavering faith in one another as a result. I value this quality in our relationship so much. This is a huge point just for relationships in general. I've been with my partner for nearly 2 years and we've had a couple of small arguments and 0 big arguments. For these exact kinda reasons. It's crazy how healthy it feels compared to the stories I hear. I wonder if the most upvoted comments will be the things most women find attractive. Or will they be the things that male redditors want women to find most attractive? I guess we'll never know. Confidence without arrogance. A good balance of confidence and humor often works. I want to clarify that confidence shows up in different ways, but the type of confidence I find attractive is someone who is confident in themselves. They don't have to be the most attractive, knowledgeable, or richest person in the room, but they know that they have strengths and they are valuable. Their strengths might be a particular interest, their kindness, or whatever. The lack of confidence is someone who overlooks their best qualities and put too much pressure on themselves for what they are lacking. A commenter mentioned that people act confident in areas that they are not experts in. That is not necessarily what I was referring to with confidence, but you are absolutely right. Our society does put a lot of pressure, especially on men, to act confident at the workplace, etc. I have noticed over time that my husband will speak with confidence even if he has the slightest knowledge and I call him out when he is wrong. He laughs and admits he was wrong. He has the confidence to say, I don't know, let me look into it, or I made a mistake. I'm sorry, our society puts pressure on men to be experts on everything, but that's not necessarily the confidence I find attractive. In both cases, I actually appreciate it when you are willing to share your vulnerabilities with me. Everyone goes through times when you are not confident in yourself or in the knowledge you have. Just be proud of who you are, what you have accomplished, and acknowledge both your strengths and weakness. That is confidence. Confidence. It's the food of the wise man but the liquor of the fool. Vikram. OHH ho ho. I have seen this before. 1. Shirt sleeves rolled up will make half the female redditors sleep with you, unconditionally. 2. Grey sweatpants. 3. Treating mom kids family nice. 4. Treating wait staff nicely. 5. Confidence, not arrogance. 6. Communication. 7. Steady job. 8. Big sklong. 9. Medium sklong. 10. Small sklong used well. 11. Texts back. You forgot sleepy sick groggy voice. I love when my men don't repost slightly different variations of the same freaking question on this subreddit every dang week. I like big noses, or big teeth. Really anything that accentuates the face and makes them look different. It might be the artist in me, but I love those features. Also humor. Love a guy that can dance with me and be silly. Look like a horse. Check. You know Bob Newby from Stranger Things? Yeah, that. He is the full package. Kind, caring, loving, competent, funny, cute. AKA Samwise Gamgee. Narrowing down a single thing is difficult. I appreciate a man that's down with self-care, hits the gym, isn't afraid of therapy, smells, looks good, knows how to relax. It has to be confidence. It can even make an ugly man more attractive. When someone believes in themselves, they make me want to believe in them. I'm confident that I'm a failure. I don't know if there's an all-encompassing answer to this, but I prefer men who are caring and understanding, and men who go out of their way to show they care, with heartfelt actions. Honesty is also a big one. Trust is imperative. A sense of humor is also a turn on. Not a lady, but I showed this to my lady. She says, and I quote, "Excellent hygiene, consistency and good dong. There you go fellas. This guy's got a consistently clean, good dong." Humor is a goodie, but for physical attributes I'm a mouth girl. A man can be otherwise flawless, but if he's got a weird mouth or shapeless lips, I'm out. My partner is my perfect man. He is so balanced in all these contradictory ways that would be impossible to ask for. Strong and masculine but tender and sensitive. Cool and calm but spontaneous and silly. Always knows when not to take things too seriously, and exactly when to take things seriously. He's honest. He's polite, charming and thoughtful. He's also sarcastic, hilarious and naughty. He takes care of everything without needing to be asked, and this encourages me to try to do the same always. He makes me want to be better just by being himself. I just realized I'm making a big list of stuff I love about him. I guess if I had to sum it all up, he is sure of himself. Right and wrong, good and bad. He is everything I admire in a friend and in a man. I feel so lucky that he chose me. He's the standard for what I want our children to seek in relationships. He's also completely gorgeous and really good at winking. Not everyone is good at winking. He's the best at surprises, and he somehow never runs out of ideas for new fun things to do. He speaks to me and our daughter gently and differently than he does to everyone else, and makes quality time for us every day, no matter how tired he is. He's the kind of man who repaired our neighbor's motion sensor light outside, without being asked, so she and her daughter didn't have to walk down their walkway in the dark. He fixes gutters and helps with repairs. When waitstaff introduce themselves at a restaurant, he uses their name when he speaks to them and he remembers it the next time we go. He's an actual, genuine gentleman. He holds my hand even when we're just at home, and he never ever complains about having to play Barbies or read Wacky Wednesday for the 900th time. He makes me tea every day just because I like it better the way he makes it. He's so good that I wonder what I can do for him that is special every day. He has a beautiful voice and sings in the car. He's a great driver. I always feel safe and he never loses his temper, no matter how infuriating the situation is. I wrote this far and asked myself, what are you doing? Why are you writing this? But I'll look around at our happy, beautiful home, sitting here completely comfortable, warm, satisfied, and very pregnant with baby 2, and I am so unbelievably, hormonally, thankful for this man. I wish more people were like him. I'm a straight dude, and I think I may be in love with your partner. I'm someone who generally doesn't talk that much and listens more. My partner is the same, but with him I do talk a lot more. One day we were talking. He has full eye contact with me and held my hand. It made me so aware of how present he was being and listening to everything I said and engaging with me. My heart skipped a beat. So being engaged with me during conversation is hella attractive. Sense of humor, empathy and a love of animals. My husband is all of those things and more. He always says he never used to be this emotional till he met me, but I adore his emotions, even his bad ones, because I don't know how many times he's been told men don't cry, man up etc from family or exes. Brains. I love smart men. I like a man who is able to challenge me mentally and outwit me every once in a while. I don't want to feel like I'm dominating the poor guy mentally all the time. I want at least an equal in terms of smartness and education. If this was a man, you'd sound like a neckbird. Kindness to animals is pretty high up there. If you get on your knees and start making baby noises to my dog at the park, you're in. Generosity. I'm not talking about money at all. Being generous with your time, love, kindness and striving to be a good human is an energy I absolutely adore. Reminder to sort by new for posts like this. A lot of people deciding votes here are men voting for what they see in themselves. Keep that in mind. Sense of humor. More than anything, be protective, be quiet, and your look says a lot. All men are attractive. However, for me the most attractive, they are the most quiet, taciturn, funny when you meet them, and at the same time they are intelligent. Username says it all. If you're not emotionally intelligent enough to know what you're actually feeling and communicate it like a civil, respectful adult, then I'm out. If you don't have the ability to realize that if we don't both understand how each of us feels and aren't honest with each other about our happiness in the relationship, then it's not going to go anywhere anyway. You could be charming, witty, smart, sexy, funny, and everything else, but if you're not able to be honest about those things and talk about them without chaos ensuing, then it's basically like, why bother? It's just gonna be more stress and trouble than it's worth, and there will be more to worry about instead of enjoying my time with the person I'm trying to date. Just because some of you have those insecurities, I've dated people of different body types that definitely aren't necessarily what people automatically think when they see me would be the kind of person I'd date. I don't care though, because the people I date are people of good character and everything else comes secondary. It definitely is a cherry on top of they are my type, but that isn't to say everyone I've dated automatically is. Heck, most people I automatically feel incredibly visually attracted to aren't the first people I go around to date because they turn out to be trashy people on the inside. I figure out who is genuinely someone worth dating, who's worth spending time with, and respects me and themselves enough to end things if they aren't working out for either party. I am a compassionate, loving person, but I don't want someone to stay with me if they aren't going to be happy with me, and vice versa. No one can figure that out without emotional honesty. From a purely physical point of view, I find a very manly looking man most attractive. Well built, broad shoulders, chest, muscular, doesn't have to be bodybuilder, it just looks like they are physically active. Beard is a bonus. I'm not a fan of skinny string bean guys or chubby dad butt, or fatter guys. Give me the pinnacle of health and male physical performance. I'm very primal in that sense. Sense of humor. A woman laughing is a woman with her panties half off. That's been my mantra forever. I had the same theory when I sold new windows. I think 4 out of every 10 of my sales was my answer to the potential customer's question of, what's the best feature of your windows? My answer was, an enthusiastic, you can see right through your walls. Brains. My first wife was super attractive, physically speaking, and she was super sweet and kind, but she was definitely below average intelligence, and it took a toll on the relationship. She outsourced all of her critical thinking to me. She couldn't make a decision about anything in her life without my input. It was utterly exhausting. I did little experiments here and there and would insist that she make decisions without my input, almost without exception. Anytime she didn't get my input on a decision, she would inevitably pick the absolute worst, dumbest option. One time, she took out $50,000 worth of student loans and went on shopping sprees with the money. Another time, she decided she wanted a car, so she went and bought a used VW Bug. She paid 3 times what the thing was worth, and when it broke down a week later, she just abandoned it. She bought a laptop computer for full price, and when she decided she didn't like it, she sold it to the neighbor for $200 cash, instead of just returning it to the store for a full refund. When we watched movies together, she would hardly ever engage in the story. Her eyes would just glaze over and she would fall asleep within minutes. This really sucked because watching movies is one of my favorite things in the world, and I couldn't enjoy it with her. I was in a relationship, but I was so incredibly lonely. I was also mentally exhausted. The marriage only lasted a year, and I consider it to be one of the biggest mistakes of my life. Nowadays, I'm with a partner who I respect intellectually. She is a math teacher with 2 master's degrees, and she is very independent. We split all of our expenses down the middle, and anytime we get into a debate about something, we are always able to logically work through our issues as equals. I trust and rely on her to make intelligent decisions without my help. Our relationship has lasted over 10 years now. Intelligence matters more than looks. Ability to take charge, but not in a mean way, not in a way that bulldozes over people's rights, in a way that respects people. I can't stand passive men. I think a great guy can be assertive, decisive, but also a champion of people who might not have rights. A quiet guy, a shy guy, an introvert, can still be a great leader. To me, being a great leader has nothing to do with having lots of friends, and I'll love when a guy has his ass together. Like, he doesn't need somebody to take care of him. I don't want to be a guy's washerwoman. I don't want to be his cook. I don't want to be his maid. I want him to see me as an equal, a partner, a friend, lover, I want him to respect my intelligence and not be threatened by it. I want a guy that shows that he can get through life without a woman doing the basic functions for him. A guy who is succeeding at life. I don't mean wealthy, but a guy who has it together and doesn't need a woman cleaning up his messes. I hope that makes sense. A man who doesn't treat control as a show of power sexual prowess, but rather treats independence that way. For example, dudes going you can't wear that or I don't want you hanging out with blah blah. Instant dessert down there. Clamped shut. You're really so full of self-esteem issues that you're projecting them onto others? You can't find one reason about yourself that a partner might prioritize as a reason to never be unfaithful, but a dude letting you wear whatever, go wherever, secure in the knowledge that he has your loyalty equals delicious, divine, hot, yum. Yes please. He knows that he is the thing his partner wants, so who gives a crap what his partner does? That partner is coming back to him, and he knows it. Kind and empathetic are my biggest turn-ons, as well as having a good sense of humor. He doesn't have to be a comedian, but rather, being able to laugh when others might punch a hole in the wall is nice. Physically, well, I'm not attractive myself so I'd scarcely hold a man to any physical standards, but the little things, pretty eyes, a sexy smile, a nice butt, lol. Primarily though I prefer a man who is a decent human being. He can be as hot as he wants to, but if he is a massive butthole, I'm not interested at all. Knowing when to be quiet. I always found myself more attracted to guys who knew when to speak and when some stuff was better left unsaid. Men who are comfortable with silence have always been much more appealing to me. This doesn't mean that guys should always shut their mouths, or just completely ignore a girl, but sometimes things are better left unsaid. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.